It's Ekayani with a Living Connection, and this week's video installment, it is Monday, July 13th, and I hope you had a great weekend. I did. I got to go away to the country, to a farm. I hope you spent some time outside. And, as promised, I'm very, very pleased to announce that the winner of a bag of NurtimealFrre, that's soy-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, plant-based protein from Usana Health Sciences that provides 15 grams of protein, is Mr. Greg Anderson from Long Branch, New Jersey. Congratulations, Greg. I can't wait to get your review. And because you're such a good sport, I am also going to provide you with a BPA-free blender bottle. So this beauty is great. You'll see it's got a little blender ball. So what you're going to do is put in your water, 10 ounces, 12 ounces, depending on how thick you like your shake. And then you're going to put your protein powder in the top and just give it a shake, and you're going to be able to drink it. So I know all of us are busy. I think Mr. Anderson is a very busy guy, doing a lot of driving, do a lot of deliveries, and this way he is good to go. So congratulations. Today I wanted to also re-emphasize that the NurtimealFrre is gluten-free. As a matter of fact, all the NurtimealFrres, whether it's Dutch chocolate or the chocolate whey or the wild strawberry NurtimealFrre or the French vanilla soy-based NurtimealFrre or the NurtimealFrre, they're all gluten-free. And why is this important? I just had a pretty poignant experience with someone who is beginning to experience some symptoms of dementia or Alzheimer's disease. And if you go to my Facebook page today, you'll notice that I just posted a new note from the Weekly Essentials of Health. Let me fix this a little bit, about the relationship between brain disorders. This clinical paper specifically talks about menopausal women and depression, and that being linked to diets that are high in added sugars and refined grains. Sound familiar? So I actually have a lot of papers posted on this topic that you can find on my blog, that you can find the notes on my Facebook page. And also, if you haven't looked up this book yet, Grain Brain by Dr. David Perlmutter, please do, because it talks about the link in another way between inflammation and the killing of a healthy brain. This is something that we're really, really used to. We're used to eating whole grains, bagels, pizza, donuts, all these types of things that are our go-to foods that are sort of a cultural centerpiece for us as Americans. And it turns out that because of the way that we've treated these foods, they've taken on a toxicity that is affecting our neurological health. The good news is that if we clean up our diets and we catch this in time and we fortify ourselves with things like omega-3 fatty acids, things like grapeseed extract, we can turn things around. But I just want to, I always like to back up what I'm saying with, with clinical studies, so you get the knowledge that you need, and this doesn't just seem like something I'm making up. Okay, so I'm going to read this paper real quick. This came out July 8th. Diets high in added sugars and refined grains may increase risk of depression at a glance. A new study shows that the incidence of depression in postmenopausal women may be linked to an increased consumption of high glycemic index foods, added sugars, and refined grains. So when you're shopping in the supermarket, read labels, look on the back. Does it say high fructose corn syrup? Does it say that? When you buy that bread or those bagels or all those different things, how much sugar is in this? How much gluten is in this? Are you gluten sensitive? Do you have celiac disease? How's your memory been lately? Observe yourself and see how you feel if you abstain for a couple of days, from these types of foods. To continue, it is predicted that depression will be the second leading cause of burden on society among all diseases by the year 2020. People, that is huge. That's more than diabetes, that's more than heart disease, that's more than cancer. At the same time, global consumption of refined high glycemic index foods is steadily rising. There is some evidence that these trends may be related. If you want to know what high GI foods are, you can look up a chart. I believe that I think Harvard Medical School has infographics like that posted. I've also posted things like that in the past on my blog, thelivingconnection.blogspot.com. So that's where you can look things like that up. A new study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition investigated the possible association between higher dietary GI and glycemic load, GL, and the prevalence and incidence of depression. The prospective cohort study, more than 87,000 women who participated in the Women's Health Initiative observational study between 1994 and 1998, so that's a 4-year study, and there was a 3-year follow-up. At the beginning of the study, participants completed a 145-item food frequency questionnaire. So this was a pretty in-depth study designed for the WHI to analyze the glycemic index, the glycemic load, and other carbohydrates such as added sugars, total sugars, glucose, sucrose, lactose, fructose, and starch. Depressive symptoms were measured by using participant responses to the Burnham 8-item scale for depressive disorders administered at a baseline and at the 3-year follow-up. Researchers found that the odds of depression corresponded to increasing dietary glycemic index. In addition, as intake of dietary added sugars and non-whole refined grain consumption increased, the incidence of depression also increased. On the other hand, higher consumption of lactose, which is a milk sugar, fiber, so that would be whole fruit and vegetables, were significantly associated with lower incidence of depression. The results of this study indicate that high GI diets and added sugars could be a risk factor for depression in older women. The authors suggest that randomized trials should be conducted to examine the possibility that low GI foods could be beneficial in prevention of depression in postmenopausal women. Now, the person who did the study, James E. Gangwish et al., High Glycemic Index Diet at a Risk Factor for Depression, analysis from the Women's Health Initiative. Anyway, I've got the index numbers in case you want to look that up, indicated at the bottom of this post. So, if you're feeling depressed, it's not just your imagination necessarily. I suggest again that you read this book, Grain Brain, and see how far-reaching this could be. If you may have other symptoms that could be associated with that, seizures, difficulty losing weight, feeling, bipolar. Does your child have this? Do you exercise a lot and can't seem to lose weight? Our food and what we put in our body is extremely important, and especially in how we do that these days. What else do I want to add? I wanted to mention also that there is, I've mentioned this before, but there's an outfit called the Institute for Functional Medicine. The Institute for Functional Medicine. They have a website, so you could put in, just Google Institute for Functional Medicine. Their website could be ifm.com. Don't quote me on that. But there's a directory of doctors on there that you can go to that have a little bit more quivers in their bow in terms of testing you for a disorder, something that you've been struggling with, than you may find at your average doctor. So it's worth looking into these things before you give up all hope. I always encourage to do this before people simply resign themselves to a life of taking prescription drugs. and you really get the benefit of interfacing and interacting with your diet and increasing, your fresh vegetables, your fresh fruits, and just cleaning things out that you may be reacting adversely to. Because remember, the body works synergistically, and something can trigger you, and then it's sort of like a domino effect. So that's my message for today. I want to thank everyone who's new to my Facebook page. I'll have more giveaways coming up in the months that come. Thank you very much for participating. And also, I am going to post a recipe for you called a Kathy Colada. So it's a protein shake that tastes like a pina colada, but that isn't one. That was shared on the Dr. Oz show when we had the featured product, the NurtimealFrre, on July 7th. All right, everyone. Until next time, you take care and enjoy your summer. Bye-bye now.